Okay, what's up, y'all? So today I'm making a YouTube video again, impulsively, like I do like every 5 years. So today, I think I was just sitting and I was like looking at like some of my like some of the Blu-rays I own, and I was thinking to myself like it'd be cool to show my physical media collection so far in movies, because I'd like to talk about um movies and stuff, and I just like to talk for whatever. Yo, okay, so let's do this. Okay. Um yeah, okay, so I'm gonna show I've only started to collect for background, I've only started to collect kind of like Blu-rays. I'm so jumpy right now. It's because I haven't done this in a long time, so it's weird to talk to a camera. I used to like vlog like a lot before. But now I just like I can barely like I just don't I'm not I don't got it anymore. So anyway, I'm not even gonna edit this. I'm just gonna post this like raw. Like fuck it. Okay. So yeah, I've only started to collect Blu-rays and DVDs and like kind of VHSs kind of in the last few months, probably in like the last 4 months, I'd say. um and I don't know, it's like I think I realize it's like it's kind of been a trend going on a lot lately. Maybe it's something I'm a bit late to, but I kind of just how did my cat get down here? One sec. I'm back. Okay. Yeah, I just started to collect it recently. I wasn't much of a collector before at all, to be honest, but I've recently like moved out, have a new TV. I've been kind of getting more into like my practice, which is color grading, and I've been working as a projectionist lately, so that's kind of been getting me into watching movies more, and I've kind of developed more of an appreciation for it, and kind of film as a medium. Um, Being in a different environment, I feel like I can consume it a lot more innocently. So my cat's here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, bro. Say hi. Say hi to the fans. Say hi to the blues. Hey. Okay. I'm recording a video, bro. Um so yeah, I've just developed a deeper appreciation, I think, just working at the film group. And yeah, why did I blank out? Okay, I'm gonna cut it here and then replace it. Okay, boom, snap. Okay, so yeah, to cut back to what I was saying, I've developed more of like an appreciation for just I don't know, like movies a lot more in this last year. Kind of moved around in different work environments, and now I feel like I've kind of had time to just like really develop more of my own personal taste and cultivate it, which is long overdue, I feel. But yeah, so let's get to it. I'm gonna just show my collection, talk about a couple of my favorite movies. I might skip over a bit, but the ones that I'm like notably a fan of, I'm gonna talk about. Okay, so first one, Pokemon Black. Just kidding. Oh wait. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop joking around. So I have a pile here, and then I have a pile like above here. So let's start with this one. Okay. We're gonna start from the bottom. And let's start with a banger, shall we? Um I'm not putting my letterboxed in my description, okay? Hey buddy. So let's start with Grave of the Fireflies. So yeah, in my cinephile era, just kidding. I sound crazy. I'm gonna watch this and cringe at myself bad. But Grave of the Fireflies. I got the steel book. Story behind this is I'm probably gonna post this on the Blues channel, but it was kind of around Christmas a couple months ago. And me and my friends, we had booked an Airbnb while a couple other friends were in town, and my friend Alex. And one day we went to McNally Robinson, which isn't too far from where we were staying, and they have like this really cool section where they have like Criterion Closet picks, and air like just a they have like a glass case with a lot of cool collections of movies. So Grave of the Fireflies they had, and me thinking, I'm like, yo, it's so rare, only to find it at like Sunrise Records in just like this specific section with all these steelbooks. But it doesn't matter. I watched this movie a couple months ago, and honestly, it resonated a lot with me, because I find that I really dig um, films of that style. I'll be honest, I haven't really gone through Studio Ghibli's catalog as a whole. I think this is probably the first one that I've like gotten through top to bottom. Not that I struggle with all of the other ones. I guess I just never ended up finishing them for some reason. But yeah, pretty dope, pretty cool. The art's beautiful. The story's moving. I don't want to go into too much detail because like I don't want to spoil things. But it's a very melancholic movie, I'd say. It's very mundane. It's very moving. And it's very simple. It's like you look at it from the outside in, kind of, and if you've seen it you might understand that. So yeah, comes with a couple discs. Cool. Okay, next one. So from the same place, sorry, I'm also on, like, I'm like on the floor. I'm not like sitting on anything, so I'm constantly like changing positions. But so yeah, okay, so this one is a Yorgos film, Dogtooth. um yeah, so this one also from the same place I had gotten Grave of the Fireflies from, and a few other places, or a few other movies I've bought myself. um yeah, I'm a big fan of post art in film. I think it's an art in of itself in a way. This is the 4K restoration, so this movie I think came out like 2009, or maybe a couple years earlier, 2009, I believe. It's the 4K remaster. I'm not gonna go into detail on what it's about, but if you've seen Begonia this past year, or you've seen Poor Things, this is one of his older films, and I really like it. I'm more of a bigger fan of like the world building in it. I really like how it's shot. I think it's shot on anamorphic. There's a lot of wide shots. It's a very like stylized approach. Like, you can tell his voice comes through, his directorial voice, but also from the stance of cinematography. I find it very beautiful. I think it's also shot on 35 millimeter. So I recommend checking it out. I'm a big fan of this poster art, and that's why I got it. I have the slip cover, and then here's the actual Blu-ray, and then what's in there. But yeah, it's a very like if you watch this, you're probably gonna be like, what the fuck, like what the hell is going on here. But I love that. So next we have Rosemary's Baby. I watched this when I was briefly in university. It was like a mandatory film, and it actually ended up being one of my favorite films that came out of that entire catalog we watched. I don't want to spoil it too much and the plot, but if you've seen Get Out, it has a lot of themes and like shadows of Get Out. I think Jordan Peele was inspired a lot by Rosemary's Baby. And when you watch Rosemary's Baby, you'll get it. Like, you'll see the themes, you'll see how a lot of things translate over. And it's a very interesting film. It's some of my coworkers really enjoy it as well. They really enjoy this film. I've seen it on their letterbox. Y'all know who you are. But yeah, I agree. Like, this is a beautiful film. It's just, I don't know. I remember watching it in university, and I was just like, "What the fuck? Like, what? like, I don't. I'm not gonna. Yeah, whatever. Sorry, I'm being so bland. Anyway, um, we got The Farewell. I got this a couple, like 2 months, like maybe a month and a half ago or a month ago. The Farewell it's a very moving film. I think I relate a lot to it more now at my point in my life than I did when I first saw it years ago. It's starring Aquafina in it, and essentially the plot of it is revolving around the grandmother, she gets diagnosed with cancer, and I guess in their culture, it's a thing where they don't often tell the person that's diagnosed that they actually have cancer, to bear them the burden of, holding that weight before they, supposedly die, or, and so forth. It's very beautiful. It's shot like pretty awesome. It's very naturally shot, naturally lit. It's very moving is all I'll say. I don't know. I can't go into too much elaboration. My cat is just frolicking around here. Okay, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna give myself some space because I'm getting sore. Oh, I also have the DVD for this. Okay, so wait, I'm gonna let my cat upstairs. Let's go upstairs. Let's go. I'm recording a YouTube video. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so this was one of my favorite films, and it still is, honestly. I need to sit on something, bro. My legs are dying. Okay, I'm gonna get a pillow. Okay. Okay. So, one of my other favorite films of all time is Moonlight by Barry Jenkins. To keep it short, I have the DVD as well. Oh, it's backwards. Moonlight by Barry Jenkins. If any of you guys want a free digital copy, here's the code. Okay, there you go. Moonlight, the disc. I have the DVD copy because honestly, I'm a huge fan of poster art. I love poster art. I think this is just like it brings you into the world preemptively. Like you are thrown into the world of the film before you even watch it. And I love Moonlight a lot because for me, like when I was, I guess, in high school, and especially when I was kind of finding my way into film, and at the very kind of beginning of shooting things and getting into things like cinematography, Moonlight was one of those movies that was a good example for myself back then. The way it uses visual storytelling to follow characters like Little, and how it's depicted through, each of these stages that you follow them through, and how it uses color as like a visual tool to depict. I'm just trying to sound smart right now. But anyway, no, I'm joking. But like I actually genuinely appreciate Moonlight as its own thing. I feel like it's like a painting of a film. Um and it says a lot. It tells a lot. It goes through the journey of a young black man that's navigating his sexuality, and he has to also navigate growing up in an abusive household. And it's very raw, it's very real, and it's a world that you kind of just throw yourself into a bit. You kind of experience it. The score is beautiful. And it's just so, the subtlety, I think, and um how simple things are in a sense, but how much you can extract alone from that simplicity, I think is something I find very beautiful about Moonlight. Barry Jenkins, it's a very humane way to, he approaches his work in a very humanly way, and I appreciate Moonlight. I've also seen If Beale Street Could Talk. I don't know if I've seen any other of Barry Jenkins films, but really good stuff. Okay, so next one, we got Blade Runner 2049. It's probably backwards because my camera, but whatever. I'm recording this on my phone. This is like every like film bro's like favorite movie, I feel like, or it's in like a lot of film people's top four. And you know what? That makes sense. It's a pretty dope film. Um, this is obviously adapted from the original Blade Runner back in the 90s, um, starring Harrison Ford. And this time we go into the universe with Ryan Gosling being the star. And I think the reason why I can appreciate this film a lot, more especially, is because of the cinematography shot by Roger Deakins. And again, this aligns a lot with Moonlight for me. There were a few movies that, you know, while trying to find what and I still am trying to find the movies I'm really into, these ones definitely, I think, sort of were there at the beginning of that path when I was in like grade 12 a couple years ago. Um, it's like kind of like the style of one of the styles of shooting I really enjoy, and Roger Deakins did a really good job on it. I think he won an Oscar that year for it. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he did. And you've probably seen that like shot of like Ryan Gosling like walking like in the orange kind of like foggy field. But I wouldn't say plot wise or story wise I like it as much. I appreciate it, but I feel like it's more of something that I wish I kind of experienced in the theaters. I think it's definitely something where you kind of have to immerse yourself in that world, and you also have to maybe have an appreciation for it beforehand. But that's just my own experience. So I think I definitely would watch it again, like 100%, definitely. Give it another shot. Ooh, okay. So the next film is probably one of my favorite films of all time. It changed the way I think I approached and wanted to find the way I wanted to direct films and tell stories. It was the one film that I was like, whoa, like this is something I relate to. This is something that I feel like I'm watching, I'm looking in a mirror in a sense. And when I had first watched it, it was during COVID, and I just remember that era of being in lockdown, and I just remember binging a lot of movies in my room, and being a little kind of pothead, and just like that was my first time just experiencing things like that, with just my window cracked open, and that was one of those movies where I watched it like twice in one night because I was just moved by it, and it's still. I feel like I rewatched it recently, and I don't think I felt the same way, but I feel like I'll always, 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 always have an appreciation for this movie, like always, no matter what. So that movie is Arrival. It's directed by Denis Villeneuve. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. I hate the fucking poster, man. This is terrible. I'm sorry. Well, okay, no, I don't like it. It's not my style, but um yeah, we got Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, and Forrest Whitaker. And I'm not the best at like describing like when someone asks me what that movie's about, my brain's gonna be like blah 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 blah. But it's essentially there's these aliens that come down to Earth. They land in like I think like 8 or 12 different places around the globe, and it causes like this mass panic. And essentially, the main character, who's Amy Adams, she's a linguist, and Jeremy Renner's character, I believe, is like a scientist or I don't know, mathematician or something. But essentially, their goal is to understand and decode what these aliens are here for. So the entire premise of it is them Amy Adams' character, Louise Banks, is trying to understand the language. She's trying to translate, trying to make a bridge between the aliens and the humans. And the main thing is, why are they here? That's like the slogan of like the entire film. Is it even on here? But it goes way deeper than that because it doesn't die. It's not just about, aliens land on Earth. It goes into the story of like a mother and a daughter, and I'm not going to go too deep into what that means, but there's themes of grief, there's themes of, you know, death, life, and the memory and the untimely, finality of things. I don't know. But it's beautiful. It stuck with me so much because, and you know what? Maybe I'll do a review for this one day. Because I feel like when I watched it, by the end, I felt like that is something I experienced growing up a lot. Like the language itself of like memory and how I experience it. I won't go too much. Shot beautifully too. This is shot by I think Bradford Young. It's just like that. This movie was very transformative in like a lot of the projects that I shot, in like the last couple years. But like it was so it changed a lot about how I think I wanted to approach cinematography, and the things I shoot, because yeah, it's just so moving. It's so freaking moving. Um, Bradford Young shot it. It's very natural looking, very very dreamy, very. It feels like a memory essentially. It's very dark, and it's often referred to as like dirty cinematography, muddy cinematography. I think people have said, because of how like just it leans into that like muddiness, that world, that like kind of that grit almost. But it's, I wouldn't say it's gritty, but it feels like you're looking at like a past time through like a telescope or something. I don't know, but that's how I felt. I love it. um I still, a lot of people I work with, like I like mood board, like all my mood boards, they probably have like at least a frame from Arrival, you know. So Moonlight and Arrival were definitely, I say that for like all these other films, but these two definitely moved me a lot. We have I Saw the TV Glow. I picked this up recently off Facebook Market from someone. I love the disc. Um, I'll admit, the first time I saw TV Glow, I it didn't wrap around too much with the concept and the story, because I don't relate to those experiences per se myself, but people around me, friends, and people I know do. Um, I watched it a second time though, and my friend Moses and I like talked about this, where I'm like, the second time I watched it, there was a lot more of an appreciation for it, and I think it like sunk a lot more in. I appreciate a lot more. What I love about the TV Glow is, I think, the world of it. Sorry, I have to burp. The world of it is it's very, very, it leans into that aesthetic of like retro, like old, like 90s with the pink opaque, and it's shot very cool. I'd say it's shot, it leans, it has like hints of like, honestly, Arrival and Moonlight, but it leans into this like deep purple. It's like you're like sucked into that world, and I love that about the movie. I love the characters. I love the overall kind of like message at the end. This like kind of, at least what I took from it is like this message of like, and I've seen obviously some other people have the same analysis, but one that I took and related to the most was um like, you stand there your entire life and things just keep moving no matter what, and you know, at some point you're at the end of it, you know, or you find yourself somewhere and you're like, fuck, like here I am. And all these things either change or don't change around me. um but like how I change within and who I become, you know. I don't know where I'm getting with this, but if you've seen it, it feels like you're trying to like tear yourself out of your own chest. If you know, you know. But yeah, good movie. Beautiful soundtrack. I think Phoebe Bridgers has a couple songs in this. They might even be in it, honestly. Um, Great, interesting acting. But I think they did a fantastic job on the world they make. It's like probably one of my favorite like things to think of when it comes to like the world building, the environment of a movie. Okay, we're like 23 minutes in, and I still have quite a bit of stuff, but you know what? I don't care. We need to go back to old YouTube where we just like, we're raw, no cuts. We just post it like bucket. I might have a cut in this video though, because I was like, should I like share that? Like, that is that personal? But whatever. It Parasite. Um Parasite, I think this was like one of the first 4K Blu-rays I got. This is when I like started to like collect for the first time. It's directed by Bong Joon-ho. If you're watching this, you've probably seen it, to be honest. So I'm not even gonna go into it, but it's an awesome film. This was again like, I'd say around 2019 when I first saw it. I saw it with my friend Estrella and Chris, at the Cinematheque here. Shout out Dave Barber Cinematheque. And honestly, I did not like it at first because I went in with expectations, and literally, like I still struggle with this sometimes, but I've gotten a lot better by exposing myself to like just watching a bunch of movies. But like in the lobby, people from the previous show were like, "Man, like that film was amazing. Like it was stellar." And like I think when you go into movies with like expectations of like how good it is or how bad it's gonna be or like what you want it to be, very normal thing to do, but I think like it can like kind of hinder like how you react to, you know, something. And that's what happened to me, because when I watched it again, I was like, dude, like this was like one of the most beautifully like it felt choreographed, but like so beautifully. And it quite literally was. Like I remember I bought this like storyboard book and I gave it to a friend, but it had like just all the frames, frame by frame, all the camera movements. It's so simple. It's just a bunch of like stickman, like figures, and it was so cool. Um, very well orchestrated film. Shit blows my mind. Like I was, oh my god. Okay. Anyway, here are two movies that I have in my collection. Don't kill me if you're a cinephile. I haven't seen these. Okay, Mad Max Fury Road and The Green Book. I want to collect them. That's it. I'm gonna watch them at some point. Um. Okay. So we've gotten through my first pile. I have two others that I haven't shown. I'm gonna show them in a sec. So yeah. Okay. Put this over here. Okay. So this one, so happy to find. This one's Enter the Void by Gaspar Noé. My friend Moses showed me this film in Vancouver for the first time. I think that was either my first or second time there. And that really leaned into this style of film I wasn't used to. Gaspar Noé, obviously, if you've seen his films, they're fucking insane. I mean that in like good and bad ways. Like they are mad. I haven't gone through his entire like discography. Is that for music? Whatever. I haven't gone through his entire like catalog of like films, but he has a style that I appreciate, because obviously it's not conventional. I would say it doesn't lean, at least in the Western kind of like sphere of like how movies are approached. But that's why I appreciate it so much, because I feel like at least for Enter the Void, it dives into kind of like, I guess, the story of the Tibetan Book of the Dead. It explores themes of the afterlife. It explores DMT, the DMT drug. Essentially, the story. I haven't watched it in years, but it's like a 2 hour, 2.5 hour movie, and essentially it follows the story of this main guy, and he's on like this drug run, I think, and then he gets ratted out, and then he dies. But while he dies, he's on DMT, and you quite literally see his spirit lift out of his body, and you follow him through like literally all these other streams of like life and death, and like I guess the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and you see like you get sucked, like look at the cover, man. Like you get like sucked into like this like whirlwind of like psychedelic fuckery, essentially. And you get to, it's what I imagine life would look like after, you know, after you die. But yeah, I don't know. Um but like, yeah, Enter the Void. Um I find it's very like an intense watch. It's long, to be honest. It's super long. And it's a lot of just like sitting there. You could honestly play it in the theater and just sit there and kind of like you're just like, holy shit. Like you're kind of like a third party. You're kind of like the spirit, in a sense. You're experiencing it. You're watching someone die. You're watching them relive memories. You're watching the character experience like different perspectives of things they have experienced throughout their lives. And I think that is a thing that we may experience when we die, which is why I like it so much. I think that maybe when we die, we can like maybe see, like how an interaction was from the other side, like an interaction you may have had with a friend. You'll see it not only from how you experienced it, but how they experienced it, and all the emotions that were involved in that, and all of that like jumbo mumbo. And essentially this movie, I feel like, depicts a lot of those themes, and I think like I think about these things a lot, and to see it in a movie, it's like one of those things where it's like, damn, like feels good, and to see it depicted in such an artistic way, I appreciate. So Enter the Void, I found this at McNally Robinson again. I was like, whoa, like they have Enter the Void, like I'm snatching that because it's it's a, I'd say it's honestly probably one of my favorite films. Very trippy, very psychedelic, very like watched it on something. I don't know. Okay. Um this is in my letterbox top 4, funny enough, but this is another Gaspar Noé film called Climax. This is probably one of my favorite films too. I'd say I just love it so much because it's essentially this film that follows a bunch of dancers somewhere in the like 1990s or something, and it follows the story of a bunch of dancers that are at a dance rehearsal for a performance, and it's like a dance rehearsal slash party slash gathering. They're practicing, and they all drink from a sangria there that is laced with LSD, and that's literally all I'm gonna like go into for the plot. You literally, like I said, for Gaspar Noé, you just get sucked into this shit. Like you don't have a choice. You know, you can turn off the screen if you want though, but you kind of just go through this like whirlwind. And what I love about it too is like it follows these dancers. So quite literally, Gaspar Noé, I someone might need to fact check me, but I'm pretty sure that majority of this cast, they're actual like they obviously are dancers, but they are mainly dancers. They're not actors. And that's what I love about it. The opening sequence, the bird's eye shot, the fucked up gymnopay like playing like, and just the you are like you're essentially forced to like follow along like from the second your eyes lay on the screen. And dance as a medium is one of my favorite, I guess, art forms to appreciate. I think growing up, obviously like I grew up around it because of my dad and my family, but I also appreciate it in things like school and like watching people perform, and like I've performed a few times myself, but I've never like pursued dance, you know. But being surrounded by people that have pursued dance very closely, you know that feeling when you like watch a performance and the energy is just like insane. And when I watch this and to see, you know, the French culture and how all of these people approach, you know, the medium themselves and the way that almost that language translates, I appreciate the opening sequence. All the dance sequences in this are so cool to me. They're like so cool. Like I think it goes beyond just people dancing. You really get into the heads of all of the characters in the sense. There is no like I'd say direct main character. You are going between different people throughout. And when you watch it, you know, once and the second time, the third time, you start to notice other things. And a lot of the characters, you know, the medium and the form of dance in which they choose to express themselves often reflects maybe something psychological happening to them in the movie. And I think like that is something that I appreciate so much about this. The soundtrack's dope. You got like some like you got like M83 I think on this. You got like I think Vice helped produce this. I think you got like some Daft Punk in this. Like it's an hour and a half. It's a short watch, but it might feel like forever. But it's I love this movie so freaking much. And when I like I got this from Sunrise Records at Kildonan Place, and I was like, damn, like they have this. Like this was the number one movie at a certain point where I was like, I need like to just own this on like a Blu-ray. Because if I don't, like, I don't know, I was like, where am I gonna find this? Like, you know, you have to order it online, and I didn't want to do that. So when I found out, when someone, I was just like, do you have any Gaspar Noé films? And they were like, yeah, we have Climax, we have Externa, and like Irreversible. And I was like, no way, like that's crazy, you know. I almost didn't know if I should buy it because I was like, wait, like that almost felt like not easy, but I almost felt like I didn't go through enough until I like got it, you know. Okay, that is officially the end of my first pile. Maybe I should end the video here. Should I just show my second one? Oh, fuck it. I'll just show my second one. Who cares, man? Okay, let's just do it. Okay, I'm gonna grab my second pile. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab it from above. Okay, so I'm gonna go through this pile a bit more faster because this is like half an hour in already. But I'm also trying to like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of YouTube videos heavily edited, which is like fine, like my own videos, but I kind of want to just try to just be like the old days where we just sit down and we just talk and have a good time, and you listen to this like a podcast. And that's why I'm so jumpy. I'm just like, I haven't done this in forever. Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan film. I wasn't part of the craze when this came out, in all honesty. People love Harry Styles in it. I was like, but I bought this because I'm a big fan again of how it's shot. The cinematography is beautiful. Who shot it? Is it Hoyt Van? I forget who shot it, but if you've seen it, it really leans into like this like deep teal. I wouldn't say teal and orange, but there's this like this almost like bleached look to this entire film. It has moments of kind of being like IMAX and then going back to like this kind of like 2:3:9 kind of ratio. I think it's beautifully shot. You're gonna hear me talk about that a lot. I appreciate films a lot, for the story, but I think one thing that I like will always love the most is cinematography and visual storytelling. Because that's essentially kind of like my stomping ground, I think. But obviously, I have a deeper appreciation for like a lot of different things. I think this is a beautiful visual movie. I think you know what, I enjoyed it as a film too, standalone. I don't have a 4K Blu-ray player, but I want to see this in 4K because when I was watching it on my TV, it looked really cool already. So I can only imagine, But it's a nice film, like not in terms of what happens in it. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I have not too much to say about that because I was just kind of like watching it without analyzing it. I haven't watched this Blu-ray that like on the Blu-ray, but I watched this in theaters years ago. I haven't even taken the tag off, but Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Um, I remember watching this with my dad when I was a kid. It was one of my favorite movies at the time. Um, yeah, obviously remake from the original series, and yeah, that's all I'll say for that one. I really appreciate it a lot. We have Memento by Christopher Nolan. I own a lot of Nolan films. I wouldn't say he's my favorite director, but he has a lot of movies that I appreciate. He leans into like concepts a lot that I kind of want to lean to. Not the same way, but in the same like realm, like the dream world or how time is depicted in his films a lot of the time. Yeah. So I have Memento. I bought this from someone named Tommy. He runs something called Digital Workshop, and we have this thing here called First Fridays in Winnipeg. And I bought this for $5. It was like a steal. I was like, I have to get it. I remember watching this in film class as well, like a couple years ago, and again, this is like one of the film bros. They eat this shit up. Like it's like holy fuck, Memento is genius. It's a good film. It's like a good movie in my opinion. It's not my favorite one out of all of Nolan's movies, to be honest. But I can appreciate it for what he did, for the effort, because I like it when people tackle these concepts that honestly don't make any fucking sense. But then they do at some point. We got Shutter Island. Is this Martin Scorsese film? I watched this a couple years ago again in this like COVID phase during the pandemic. I think why I appreciate this film a lot. Obviously, it's a psychological like fucking whoa. And you really go into this like it's very dark. I'd say very bleak, very very blue. In the sense that you kind of go in this like island, this insane asylum island, and you follow these two detectives, Leonardo DiCaprio and Mark Ruffalo, and they are. I don't remember too much of the plot. Beyond that, I just remember that Leonardo, like they're trying to solve a case. I think of what happened. But I don't know. I'm just gonna stop. It's been a while since I watched this movie, but the reason why I love this movie, I think this was probably one of the first Martin Scorsese films I saw. Um, but when you watch a movie and it's like you're not really analyzing it for its story or anything, you're kind of just like, this is just a good movie. Like it feels like a good world to be in. Not that this is a good world to be in like at all, but the world that Scorsese creates in it, I like really enjoyed. On the Nature of Daylight is in this movie, like the score. It's one of my favorite scores of all time. I feel like it moves me every time I hear it on screen. Same in Arrival actually. And yeah, so when I heard it in this movie, obviously things like that give me like a hunch toward movies more. So Christopher Nolan, Inception. I'm not gonna talk about this. I feel like majority of people have seen like this film, or a lot of people have seen it. It's probably like one of his most popular ones in his entire catalog, and it explores dreams, it explores time, it explores like going down like a bunch of levels and like of mental fuckery. Um, yeah. But I will say that before I was like super deep into exploring film, like it was more like early, like grade 10 in high school or grade 11. I remember watching Inception, and I think I remember it was in the morning, and I was with my parents. Like they were, I think my mom was making breakfast, and my mom really enjoys this film. And I remember watching it, and I feel like when I first initially watched it, I was like, nah, like this doesn't, like the beginning of the movie, this doesn't translate. It doesn't make sense. I don't like it. Not that I didn't like it. I'm like, I don't think I'll like it. But then by the end, I was like, holy, like I was like, damn, like that was pretty awesome. And the score, Time by Hans Zimmer, one of my favorite composers. Everyone's a lot of people's favorite composer. Um, yeah, I appreciate Inception a lot. It's a good film. It's a pretty good one. One of my favorite movies though is Chronicle. Um, I remember when I was a kid.